So my first question is, what did you do before the academy?
So I did computer science, degree in computer science at Coventry University. And then before that, I studied computing at college as well.
And what would you say for like content wise of what you learned at college? Do you think it was like a decent amount? Because I think a lot of people now talk about with the tech skills gap, there's not a lot of content available for like college or like lower school. So what did you think about like the jump from college to university?
Well, that was actually something I was really concerned about because my degree was very focused around programming and things like that. Whereas at college, there was quite a big lack of content in that area. Because obviously it's so broad at college that you don't always get to dive into things in depth.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I feel like degrees will be a lot more detailed, whereas like college, it's because it's like covering everything, it's more difficult.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
what interested you to join the academy? Did you see anything online or what was it that you saw?
So I saw online that the job title itself drew me in first. The fact that I saw DevOps and testing, and I thought they're all applicable to what I've done at university and things like that. But then as I read into the actual process and the role of the academy, etc., I thought it would be a good way to get into industry, given the fact that I didn't have any prior experience. I did a study abroad year as opposed to a work placement at university. So I thought that 1010 would give me that entry into industry that I needed.
Yeah, definitely, because you get experience as well as learning, don't you?
Yeah.
So how would you've kind of briefly mentioned it, but how would you explain or describe your prior technology knowledge before starting the academy?
Yeah, so I'd say I had sort of minimal before college, and then that gave me a foundation. And then university sort of really stepped it up a bit. I got a lot more sort of programming knowledge and things like that. But I felt that I had quite a few gaps as well. And I think that, again, that might have come from not doing a placement year. So I came into the academy thinking that I could definitely improve and also reaffirm the knowledge that I did have.
Definitely. So what was your perception of tech before joining 1010? What was like your general knowledge of it? As in like, what did you think a tech career would kind of be?
So I think I thought that the main roles that you would go into would be software development. And one thing that did surprise me is that I didn't realize that the role of a tester was really a thing, to be honest. I thought that because in uni we get taught that developers do software unit testing and things like that, that was as far as testing really went. So I gained that knowledge that actually testing is really important role on its own, and is vital to a business. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more specifics. I mean, before 1010, I had not really a clue about IT, and I looked at it and I always thought it was like more of a general thing. It was kind of one type of job. But I feel like with the academy, it's you actually learn there's lots of different things that make up an IT career, and there's lots of things that you can specialize in as well. So during actually training in the academy, how did you find the training? Were there any bits you didn't enjoy, you did enjoy, like in particular?
Well, I think it was really good to go over sort of what I did at college and university. And it also filled in a lot of gaps, a lot of knowledge gaps that I had, and allowed me to also question my previous perceptions. And I enjoyed the sort of roadmap for the train, and I thought it was good how they started off with sort of the basics of what IT is in general, and then sort of went into programming. Again, that allowed me to like reaffirm my knowledge. And then I really enjoyed additional training because we got to choose either dev or uh, BA and test automation. But I think that might be a wider choice right now. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I really enjoyed going into those specific areas. And we also got some examples to work on so we could apply what we've learned really well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's very detailed because you touch on like every aspect, and it's also good you went over what you did at college and uni as well because it's an easy place to start, and it's kind of like starting like giving you more welcoming, and you're a bit like, okay, this is fine. Like I know what I'm doing. Then it gets like more challenging. So, how did you settle on your specialism after the general training?
So I think I I just I enjoyed the core training testing. And we did a tiny bit of automation during that, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed sort of fixing any test automation that went wrong, as well as creating new test scripts. So I think that really pushed me in the direction of test automation.
Cool. So, after you finished the academy, what year did you finish it?
I believe it was 2022, yes.
Cool. So, what was it like starting your first client work? How did you find that?
So at first, I was obviously really nervous because I never had a job in industry before. And then I think it really helps that we were onboarded with another senior consultant. And this really helped us to integrate ourselves into the role, into the project. And we had help along the way, so that was really useful.
Yeah, I can imagine because it's nerve-wracking going into a place and you don't know anyone, and you also have the panic of, well, what if I don't know what I'm doing? But it's definitely good you had that extra help, so you knew you'd be all right. So what work did you do with your first client?
So I did test automation to start with. We had a test automation pack that was already created, but hadn't been touched in about 2 years. So it needed to be refactored, corrected, but also in the efficiency needed to be improved, so the performance of it. And then I think we'll soon on the next project we'll be going on to manual testing and ETL testing as well. So I got a real broad range of testing experience.
Definitely, it's good because it's almost like you're still learning, even though you're working, you're still also learning about new things that you might not particularly learn in the academy, just enhancing that knowledge even more. So now that you've thought about your entire academy journey, you've kind of gone back and I've made you revisit all your academy past. So before you joined us to now working with clients, how do you feel you've grown and like transformed in your career? And comparing before you started to now, what do you think is different?
I think that I've got a lot of knowledge of agile projects, agile testing, the processes involved, how a business works in test, how test and development sort of connect to each other. And I've also got a lot more confident in test automation. I now understand sort of how test data is set up and how stored procedures are implemented. And on a more sort of soft skill level, I think I've learned that everything new is always going to seem daunting at first, but the chances are if you apply what you know and try hard and ask the right questions, then it will all be okay in the end and you'll grow.
Yeah, definitely. Because everyone will grow at a different pace as well. Because you had experience before of IT because you'd done it before, but there were a lot of people that joined the academy that haven't done anything. But I think when you all get the same training, you all get the same aid and help, I think it's really good, and you all kind of get the same end outcome. So that's always a good thing as well.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, sorry, what were we going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, it is. And I think something that helped in that is that you don't tend to get placed on a client on your own. You tend to go with somebody else from your academy or perhaps a previous or the next academy. So especially when you're at a junior level. So you've got a support network already there, which is really good.
Yeah, that's good. So what would you maybe say to people who are considering doing the academy, or if someone hasn't got as much knowledge and they want to do it but they're a little bit apprehensive, what would you say to them?
I think that you should definitely do it because Ten10 offer a lot of support in many areas, be that technical support, well-being support, and they also really encourage you to develop yourself whilst you're throughout your whole career with Ten10. So they're always encouraging taking qualifications and trainings, and they do provide the financial support to take those things. So I think it's a great way to get into technology, and it's a great way to open up your options within industry, but also within Ten10.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me.
No problem.
See you later.
Bye.